Hi, good evening, everybody. Let's see here. I was trying to just refresh my YouTube screen to see if it had started for y'all yet, but I guess there's just a couple of seconds of lag. Let's see. My computer says it's 8:02 and YouTube says it's 7:52. What is up? It's not an 8 minute delay difference. What's going on with YouTube? What time warp are they in? Anyhow, so, all right. Well, welcome to this week's edition of That's Novel. I have with me author J.A. Hensley, and I didn't ask you beforehand. I should have. Do you want me to call you J.A. or do you want me to call you by your name?
It doesn't matter, but Jennifer's fine.
Okay. I'm like, some people insist on their initials to be called, and I'm just like, I forget to ask that, and then I'm like, oh crap. Well,
no, it's all right. Jennifer works.
Okay. All right. Well, so if Jennifer is new to you, we have her bio and all of her links are available on the episode information just below here. And of course, to the right-hand side of your screen, if you're on the computer, the live chat box is up and you can ask questions if you like. Don't forget to like the show. I think all these kind of cool things that YouTube has helps with the algorithm for it being shown. So those of you that are watching, if you could hit the like button when you get a second to do so. And then, of course, you can check her out on all of her outlets. Her Amazon author page is linked there. It's the second link, so you can check out her books as we are discussing them. So you can see she got some hotness going over here with these covers. Well, it kind of goes along with the books, right? So some skin showing here.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me this evening. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out to come and chat and tell the world, as it may be.
I appreciate it.
About your stories. That's one of the cool things I think about the internet is that this stuff will be around for however long the internet is available, which I can't ever see that that's going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so as long as YouTube, I guess, is still around, people can watch videos. They can see this forever and ever I'm in.
They may not want to watch me that much.
Right? Or me, for that matter, because I'm on this thing every week. They'll be like, I'm so sick of seeing that girl. It's whatever. So, your books are more erotic romance in nature, aren't they?
I think they qualify as contemporary romance, but there's plenty of sexy time in my books because that's what I like. So that's what I put in there.
Yeah, might as well. All right. And so your very first release is called Stronger with Him.
Mm-hmm. That's the first one in the series. I had one before that, but it was originally published under a different pen name. So
I gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Stronger with Him is the first one that really took off for me. So
yay! And this has some suspense, right? We like it when that kind of stuff happens.
Well, how can you not like that? That.
Right? I know, I was looking at the cover like, hello, that's some skin.
Yeah.
Who is that? Mm-hmm. Is that a cover model or is that a
No, it's stock photo, believe it or not. And Summer Stein found it for me. She did the first two book covers. So and actually I'm working right now on putting them all together in, I don't want to call it a box set because it doesn't actually come in a box, but one big paperback, and it'll have the same guy on it in a different pose.
A collection.
Yes.
The collection of
hotness. Yes.
yes. Some skin. A collection of skin. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I like it. Might put that in the byline or something.
There's a collection of skin. Yeah, that could be your tagline for the series.
There you go. I don't need to put anything else as a blurb, just the collection of skin.
There you go. With the plot. My collection of skin has plot.
Yes, it does.
It's not just all skin. There is a plot included.
There is.
Because, there are those books. It's kind of funny. Like, to me, I read, if I get stuck sometimes on, like I've just read, and then I just come to this wall that I hit. There are these smut books that I read on. It's actually, I have to read them on my Nook app because this particular author doesn't publish these books outside of Nook, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
Okay.
So he uses a random name. It's not really random. Anyway. But his books are strictly smut. I mean, it's really just all skin, like sex from page 1 to however long they are. And they're usually only novellas, so like 30 pages, maybe at them. I mean, they're like short story.
Right.
Little books. And I'm just like, hello. But there are differences in, you gotta, there's stuff with the plot.
Right.
Which is erotic romance or erotica with no. It's just give me all the sex and nothing else with it. Okay, that's all I want. Yes, which is nothing wrong with that. I love to read those.
Sometimes you need that. You just need that for a while.
Yes, exactly. And some people only like to read that kind of thing, which is fine. It's whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
But I got to have some plot. But I'm short at the time. Because the no plot just really can get on your nerves sometimes. But,
yeah.
I mean, but I hit the wall, though. I need that mind-numbing, I don't have to think through the story. So, yeah. So, skin with the plot.
Yes.
Okay. And the series is complete with the 3?
Yes. I don't foresee any further books in the series, maybe a spin-off someday, but this is going to be the complete series of these 3. So.
Yay.
Yep.
And the first one is 99 cents, people. So, y'all, we love 99-cent books, or at least, that's what people say, that we love 99-cent books. Well, here you go. The first one in the series is 99, and the rest are $2.99, which is not break your piggy bank whatsoever. And it's good to go. And then you also have so I guess I should say, are these intertwined? Are they each standalones, or are they the same main characters throughout the 3?
It's basically 3 best friends. And so the first book, Stronger with Him, is Becca and Colin. And then the second book, Stronger with Her, is about Stephanie and James. And then, I know, right? And then the third book is Kristen and Jude. So the 3 girls are the best friends. And so they're in each other's books, and you see the characters come back, but each book focuses on one of the girls.
Different primaries.
Right. And I don't write cliffhangers, so when the book's done, it's done. So. Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I am a sucker for cliffhangers, but I guess there are several readers that are like, oh my God, I can't. I can't
write fast enough. People be waiting forever. So.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
I did see, I saw the other day in an email that I get on the agency side of my stuff that there was somebody that was just publishing their sequel 20 years later.
Wow.
20 years. I was like, what? What have you been doing for 20 years? Like, what? I mean, did the characters just go on permanent vacation or what? I mean, and I guess technically you could say the same thing for Harper Lee, when because Ghost at a Watchman was part of Kill a Mockingbird. Well, not really, but, same thing, and that didn't happen until she died.
Right.
And, finish that book. So obviously it does take some. I mean, I've never written a book, but I mean, 20 years. I can't imagine.
No, I would forget what I'd written.
Right?
So, yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm like, I have one author that is writing 3 different books, the same like this. She's writing 3 different stories. They're all standalones, but they're brothers, kind of like your best friends. And I'm like, you need to write them back to back to back, because if you don't, you're gonna forget.
Yes.
What's going on if you jump to another story? Because that has to be so hard to keep everybody straight. What they look like, what their jobs are like, what preferences they have. It's like you need to outline for an outline for an outline. It's just
I've got notes everywhere, and then I've got a couple people that I will say, where did that happen, or who was that? And readers who will remember for me, because I don't remember.
It's too much. Too much to go in there, to keep up with. It's Yes. I have somebody asked me the other day, do I have a person named whatever in any of my books? And I'm like, oh God, okay, let's see. Oh, let me go through. Do you know how many characters you have in your stories? You really expect me to remember.
Oh, and that's hard too, is to keep up with all the different secondary characters and what names have you used. And, especially if you're writing a series like mine, you can't use the same name. So you have to try to keep up with what you've done. And it's a lot. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. So, but it's still fun. So
yeah. I can admit, like trying to keep up with all that stuff. I mean, really, like your notes have to have notes to have notes. That's just too much. Just like you need a family tree just for you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you need.
Your characters. It's great.
Yeah.
Just how they interconnect and their families, and how they met, and where did they always live down the street from one another, whatever it is. It's like, okay. Right. Yeah, that's another reason why you won't find me writing a story, because I can barely remember what I did today, much less what I would be writing from. No.
Yep.
It's way too much to keep up with. No. I'll just stick to reading.
Okay. That's okay too.
Right. We still all need readers too. I'll just stick to reading.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. It's It's and I don't think, one of my favorite things about doing these interviews is that to hear an author talk about their process, and we'll get to yours in a minute, like of how you do things. Like, do you outline your stories to begin with, or are you a planner, like a plotter, or do you just go by the seat of your pants when you're writing, or do you and then have to go back later? And people do it all different ways. I had an author, I wish I could remember who it was. I had an author on my show once say that she starts at the end of her book and then writes to the beginning.
Wow.
I don't know how in the world she can do that, because so many authors I've had say their story ends up changing the way they think it's going to go, doesn't turn out like that, because it changed. The characters change the story in
yeah,
middle of the book or wherever. And I'm like, how do you write? Because what happens if do you just make your beginning work towards your ending if they change it somewhere between end and the beginning? I don't know.
I don't know. That kind of makes my head hurt.
Right.
Like, how? No, that'd be too hard for me.
Yes, so a little backwards. I mean, whatever works for her process. I'm not dogging her process. It's just it does, like you. It makes my brain hurt. Seems like it would be more difficult.
I would think so, but I don't think that way. So
yeah, whatever works. So, do you plot or do you just write by the,
Well, I tried to plot once. It didn't go well. I did. I sat down with my notebook. I have this one certain notebook that I write everything down in that has to do with my books. And I sat down. I thought, okay, after I wrote the first one, I thought, I'm going to do this in an order. And I'm going to try to plan out, okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. That lasted for the first 2 paragraphs. And I said, I can't do this. This is not working for me. And even, because for me, I never know when something's going to come up in a chapter. So to say, oh yeah, this is going to happen in chapter 4, that doesn't always work. So I sit down when the mood strikes me, and sometimes I can write 5,000 words in a day, and sometimes I can write 5 words in a day. It just depends on if they're talking or not. And I used to think when authors said that, they're talking to me, and I thought, okay, you're delusional, you're hallucinating. I don't know what's wrong with you. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I can diagnose you, but it's so true. It's so true. It happened to me last night. I was laying in bed and this new story, these new characters started, and I knew I should get up and go write it down. And I just was too tired. And I woke up this morning and went, crap. Now I have to try to figure out what it was that they were saying last night. And of course, now they're sleeping and they're like, we're not telling you anything. So
right, exactly. Mm-hmm. You thought I was going to wait and tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's like it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. But
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I knew it. I knew I should have just gotten up and gone to my computer and written down the 3 or 4 sentences that were kept going over and over in my head, and I didn't do it. So now I'm paying for it.
Well, maybe they'll come back. Yeah, that's the hard part. I have heard authors say they get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like they are awakened by their characters, and they have to jot it down or put it in their phone, or I mean, like this is in my hand all the time. All the time. I mean, even when I go to the bathroom, this sucker goes with me. So, it's not like this, we are very separated. So I assume a lot of authors might be the same way, or a lot of people might be the same way. But, so that's like the notes app would be, or even Pages. Like I think one of my authors writes in Pages. I don't know. I don't use these things. But, okay, so Pages would probably be my
I use notes on my iPad. My iPad sits next to my bed, so I should have turned it on. I just didn't want to turn the light on. I was too tired. So, yeah, it'll come back to me.
Hopefully so. Yeah, that's the hard part. Like coming back with that stuff. Well, and I think that they try to do that in this inopportune time because they just like jerking authors around.
They do.
You have to listen to me now, or
because
pay for it.
It's not when I wanted to do it. I wanted to write 2 days ago, but oh no, nobody was talking then.
Exactly. Exactly. Just to be a pain.
Yep. Pretty much.
Right. Annoying. Yes, I have said it's kind of funny that you say that you could diagnose people. I have this. I don't know if you've seen me post this before, but I have this little meme that I created after one of my shows. And it says the difference between an author and a person with schizophrenia is that an author puts the voices down on paper.
I like that.
And I'm like, well, I hope people that have that don't get offended, but
Yeah.
For real. I mean,
Yeah.
get the voices out of your head, type them up.
That's
So
right.
it might be the world's next biggest
Mhm.
bestseller. Don't react to what they're telling you. Just
Right. Right. Yeah.
when that moment comes. I mean, everybody's different, and I know that might not work for some, and that's probably not even anywhere near close to what someone from that is diagnosed with schizophrenia. It's like it just makes sense to me because that's what it correlates to when you hear to a general lay person. I guess you hear somebody like the voices are talking to me. What like you
Right.
said.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that equates, to schizophrenia because that's what we know as the general public about what happens to somebody with, multiple personalities and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got all these characters in your head talking. Let's put it in a book.
Right.
Yeah, to me, that just makes the most perfect sense, and I don't have those things in my head, thankfully. So I guess I don't have to worry about that.
No.
But yeah, it would be annoying to have to be awakened by characters or, to wait unto them to get the program and start talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how those that write don't hear. That's another thing that I've had on this show is amazing for me because I learned so much about authors, and different people's processes. But I've had others that don't have voices, but they write stories anyway. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? You don't have a character.
Yeah. I don't always though. I mean, I don't always have that. Sometimes I'll just kind of have a general idea and kind of close my eyes and try to picture it as if it were on TV or a movie and then try to just write what I see. But sometimes, and last summer, Kristen for Stronger With Us, she would not. I was up at 5 every morning, and she just, of course, it took me a year and a half to write that book because she wouldn't talk for the first year. And then it was like she was not going to be quiet. So that book, actually, that was probably the fastest I've ever written a book. And it took me, I think, 8-9 weeks, which for me is really fast. But when you get up at 5 o'clock every day, because she won't shut up, and you write till 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then it's like, okay, well, now I guess I'll start my day. So.
Right, exactly. I can actually get to work now, or all different work instead of
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be annoying. I don't see 2 5 o'clocks in. See, I told you, my hair.
You're fine.
Playing with this thing all night. People that watch this show are gonna be like, "My gosh, Stephanie never leaves her hair alone." But that one little,
my dog just keeps looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
And then I don't have to worry about it. Like,
yeah, there you go.
Yes, because then when it starts sticking out.
See, you need to have some of the wine too.
Yes, I definitely need that.
Mm-hmm.
I had sweet tea for dinner, of course, and it was me and my tea. And my husband took my refill.
Oh.
With him, he was taking the kids to the park, and he took the tea, and I'm like, I need something stronger than water. Of course, I didn't even get water for tonight's show, but I'm thinking to myself, I might need something stronger than water.
I usually do.
Yes. But if I had wine, I'd be asleep because I was up until, night before last, I was up until 3, and then last night it was like 2 something. But I have been slammed.
In the good way. Yeah.
Yes, I've been slammed, and it is a very good thing. I mean, but that's just crazy. It seems like everybody wanted to publish at the same time, and they all. And the hardest part is I went to RT for the entire week, and so I virtually didn't read. But
right.
I usually read about 3 hours a day, try to, or maybe more than that. And I might have gotten 3 hours the entire week. It royally put me behind. And so now I'm trying, that's why I stay up late, usually around 1 a.m., 1:30-ish, I'm usually going to sleep. But,
yeah.
Yeah, not this week.
Well, you know.
What can I do? My poor Kindle, it's like, really, lady. We got, yeah. So, yeah, Don was like, he took your tea? Yes, he took my tea to the playground, which I was surprised because usually my husband doesn't drink tea. He usually just drinks water, but he was like, can I have the tea? I'm like, fine. Take my tea. He probably won't even drink the thing. Whatever.
Probably not, but yeah.
Anywho, so now that we've danced all around the subject, what do you have that you're working on now?
Right now, right this moment, I'm getting the 3 books together in a collection. I'm hoping do cover design mid-June and hopefully have that out and ready in July. And then this new book that I did get like 5 sentences written this morning. We'll kind of see where that one takes us. And it's based on. I'm trying to think of how to explain it without sounding like a creeper. Um, it's actually based on the lives of 2 of my students. I teach college, and 2 of my students got married this past weekend, and they met in my class. And so I asked them if I could kind of use their story, and they said yes. And so I'm kind of working on that now. So we'll see if that one takes off or not.
That'll be fun.
So
that should be super fun to write.
I hope so.
I mean, I don't know about to write, but it really should be super fun to read anyhow. Forget all that love story. Are you going to make it sweet, or is it going to be? I'm sorry. I'm going to yank the cord out of my computer. I keep trying to hide it so it doesn't hit my arm. Anyway, is it going to be a sweet love story, or is it going to be one that's going to have a little bit of angst included?
It'll probably have a little bit of angst to it because that's just reality. I think that that fairy tale, everything is always wonderful. I don't, to me it's just not. It's great if that was actually how it worked, but I don't, I just don't think that. I saw somebody's post on Facebook earlier this week about wanting to see a character who, gives head and then doesn't swallow and it doesn't taste good and all this stuff. And I thought I wrote that. That's stronger with her. That character hated that. And she's like, but that's real. And I know a lot of people want to read books that are that fantasy so that we have that escape from our real lives. But I like to have a little bit of truth to, some real kinds of things in my books. And all of them have that. And all of them so far have been based on people I know and their experiences. So whether it was Stronger with Him, a couple of the characters in there are real. I mean, they're real people. And things happen to them that happened in the book. So all 3 of the books are like that. So there's truth in my fiction, I guess. And I like to read those kinds of books. So that's what I write.
Yes, which is a good thing, to make it a little bit more real. There was a book that I was reading today. It's part of this, big week of catch up.
Yes.
But I actually just got it night before last, and it releases tomorrow. Well, that's not going to happen. But actually, I put it down today because I read a scene in the book that I was like, basically, it's my facial expressions while I'm reading this thing, and I'm like, this guy, he's a secondary character, but he's a big deal as a secondary character. His daughter is the primary. It's a band, you know, a rocker story, and the lead male character is the singer in the band, and then the lead female is she's the bass player, and her daddy is the what is it, where they own the rights to the, you know, that they're the record, like they're the, I don't know, you know, the people
Yeah.
that own the rights to the music, and they whatever that's called. Please, somebody help me out. Donna, help me out here. She'll be like, you know, he's the, whatever he is. He owns the company that owns the band, basically. And he comes in, he shows up out of nowhere in the lead singer's hotel room and basically like threatens this guy's life if he doesn't stop having something to do with the girl. She's his bass player. She's new to the band. The band is like the most successful band that this man has, and he doesn't want his daughter to be in the press. Well, you shouldn't have let her be in the band, because the band's going to be in the press and they all want to know about the new bass player. And then, you know, he went all mob like on the dude, saying that he would, his body, you know, if he didn't want to disappear, he'd leave his daughter alone. Like he would make his, I'm like, what? And then like the next sentence, he was like, I'll see you on stage. You know, it's like, okay, this dude needs some drugs.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck just happened here? You know, I'm like, dude, turn it down a notch. And it's not like she's 12. The woman is 21 years old. She can make her own decisions. I'm just like, okay, chill out there. You know, it's like he really, and they even use this in the story. Like the singer was like, he just went all mob boss on me. Yes, he did, and that was out of nowhere. And then he comes back and is like, you know, oh yes, Donna said record executive. Yes, something like that. He owns the company that owns the band. So yeah, he's one of those executive people.
Right. I got a lot of not so positive feedback on Stronger with him at first, because one of the characters is abusive. And so several readers had kind of said, you know, why doesn't, you know, I can't believe she didn't leave him, and you know, comments of that nature, which all sound great in real life. It doesn't work that way. And so I came back and said, you know, in real life, women don't leave the first time they get hit. That's just not how it works. And so part of the story is to see how Becca gets her strength back and is able to deal with that sort of thing. And I didn't have any graphic scenes or anything like that. I wasn't going to go down that road. But that was, you know, readers get upset about cheating or abuse or something like that. And it's, I don't know, I guess for me, it just has to have a little bit of reality to it. And at least in my experience, professionally and personally, generally it doesn't happen that way. We'd like it to, but it just doesn't. So,
yeah, people are unrealistic if they think that's going to happen overnight. That's not going to be.
No, but I mean, it's still for Becca in the book. I mean, she is able to stand up for herself and move on and that. So I hoped when I wrote it that it would help empower some people who may be in that situation, that they could, I mean, not just say, oh yeah, I can be like, Becca Mayo and Stronger with Him, but say that you can get out. You can't, it may not happen tomorrow, but it can happen. So, and then Stronger with Her deals with suicide and mental illness. And so the prologue is probably one of the most shocking things I've ever written. And it's intended that way, but it's and so that book kind of talks about how family members deal with when somebody kills themselves. And in Stronger with Us, Kristen is a nurse and she works in the emergency room, and she deals with a college girl who's been raped. And the girl doesn't think that she has been because she didn't say yes, but she also didn't say no. And so it kind of talks about how, unless you say yes, it still counts. And so just little things. I don't know. I guess it's from being around college students all day. I don't know. But some of those things just kind of work their way into my books and I have a little bit of, I guess, life lessons. I don't know.
Yep. Eventually people will have to learn them.
Well, and then you go and find the big alpha skin guy and fuck his brains out and then all's good. So
yes. Let me just take care of you. Let's get this party started right.
Well, and Stronger with Us. Now this cover, see, that's Burton Hughes. So he is a cover model. Eric Battershill took that picture when we were in Vegas last January. I'd never been to a photo shoot. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I just didn't know what I was doing. And I took my friend Karen Camp with me, and she basically literally held my hand for a while while I was trying to do all that. Oh my gosh, it was something. But so that was my first foray into cover models and all of that stuff. So but yeah. So I don't know. What else do you want
to know? Are you using, did you say, I mean, you haven't had your cover reveal yet, but are you using a cover model for this series?
I am not.
Compilation?
No.
Okay. Yes.
I thought about it, it's kind of like, well, yeah. But sorry if you can hear my dog barking. I'm guessing my husband's home from work. But the first book was so popular. The cover of this first book was, I mean, anymore, if you ask somebody that this is the cover they remember. So I decided to go back to this model, and then we'll just do something with a different pose of his and have something similar. I'm not sure what. Amy Q is going to have to figure that out. So
yes, her her stuff cut out for her, but it shouldn't be, I mean, really, it shouldn't be that hard. There is a lot of good stuff out there. I know, and if you know how to find him, then it should be easy.
Yeah. I've already snagged a couple of the pictures and downloaded them to my computer. Research purposes.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Tax deduction. Tax deduction for research. Well, I mean, it is. It really is.
Is.
You have to know what's going to go right with your brand and what picture works very well with those, with your font and your branding for that series. And then, it's part of your business. You do have it as a tax deduction because
sure.
That's the way the government has that mess set up. You can utilize that stuff. So, in teasers, you got to have pictures for teasers because everybody has to make those.
Of course, and they need to be right on the edge of Facebook approved, but almost not Facebook approved. So.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, as long as it's done the right way. I saw this, one of our friends shared this Facebook ad with us the other day. I guess it was yesterday. It was a man holding a baby, like feeding a baby. It was precious picture. Like it was just this, no head shot, was just the torso. Man holding the baby. It was precious. He had bare arms. You could see his tattoos or whatever. And then the caption that went along with it had nothing to do with the baby. And I was like, oh, holy cow. Remind me not to buy any of her books. Of her books or anything like this, like it was talking about maiming and, like it should have been a female, like a couple instead of, and I was like, did you get your pictures mixed up? For what book you're talking about? I was like, oh gosh, come on, and like, how did that get approved? But that's just funny that you're like,
right,
just
right.
Approved.
And I agonize over every one of those that I do. And does it look right? Is it going to be okay? Is Facebook going to say, yeah, we can have it? Because I've had them reject anytime I have just my book cover on there, they reject it every single time. So too much skin. It's something about implied nudity. I'm like, there's nothing implied about it. That he's half naked.
Right.
It's, but in America, that's legal.
So really.
Exactly.
It's not,
but they just, anything.
And a man should be able to, realistically, here, people, or not, it's the top half, not the bottom half. And a man, it should be allowed to show his upper torso. I mean, I can understand a woman, but a man. I saw one the other day where a woman was completely showing her butt crack, and I'm like, how does that work?
Like, I don't know. You don't have to tiptoe around, silly. Yeah, my husband's home. He's trying to tiptoe. 6'3", he's trying to tiptoe around the house.
Quiet around here.
Yeah,
hi. Yes. Right.
So you play with your hair, and I scratch my nose. So
there you go. I mean, seriously, this is just bad. I need to now on days that I have shows, I need to wear my hair down or like do something, with it to pull it down before the show starts. But I didn't have time for that today, so
I had to get a shower today to be on your show. So
that was your one for the month. I mean, come on.
Well, when you're trying to be in the cave, it's hard to come back out for anything. And so I said, you gotta have a shower today if you're gonna be online.
Right. And you don't have class because school is over.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm on summer break. So, well, until May 30th, and then summer school starts. So,
right. I was just gonna say you guys till June, and then you got to go back to work.
Yes. Yeah. For a little bit. But it's just 2 hours a day. Then that's easy.
Yeah, that's nothing. I used to love summer classes in college. They were like my favorite. I'm like, I could bang this stuff out if I could take some.
Oh, I love 5 weeks and you're done. I love it. Yes, and it's so much more fun to teach in the summer. So
right, and you learn the same stuff as you do as an entire semester. I tried to take my hardest classes in the summertime because then I felt like I would learn it better, quicker, and I tried really hard. Granted, that didn't work out for like accounting classes.
Well, there are some that but I teach a basic sociology class in the summer, and we just have fun. So while we learn something, I hope they learn something. I know.
Well, their grades will reflect whether.
Yeah.
Yes. You make them do like the same like paper, like I'll have to do the big.
They still have to do that, but they don't have to take a final exam in the summer. So.
Yeah, see, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes. So on the show too. Hi.
Stephanie says hi. Yeah, he's doing the nodding thing. He's eating something.
The whole world says hello. Yeah. Yes, that's the key part. Are you doing any signings this year? Where can readers find you?
I am. I have 3 on the books this year, and my first one is going to be in July, going to Riders on the River in Peoria, Illinois. I've not been to that. This is our second year. I've not been there yet, so I'm excited about that. Twinsy Talk is sponsoring that, and they're hilarious. And then in August, I'm going to Books in Bourbon Country, which is not easy to say fast, which is in Louisville. And so that's actually my closest one. Louisville's only 2 hours away from me. So I kind of like going over there because it's real easy. It's just I get on the interstate and I go. So I'll be at that one, and then I'll be at Glass City in Toledo in October. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So
Angie all over the place this year.
Yeah. And I'm just, these are 3 I've never done before. And I thought this year I would just, because I did a couple over again last year, and I thought, well, I'm just going to try something new this year and just do ones that I've never done before. So yeah. And I'm not flying anywhere, so that'll make life a little easier.
Drive and not have to send your stuff. Granted, for the 2 that you'll see, Angie, well, not that she can't come to Kentucky, because I guess, if it's in the summer, she can drive. But,
right.
You could send stuff to her, but at least, driving makes it that much easier. When we drove, I assisted an author at the Authors in the Bluegrass in Lexington, and we drove from Myrtle Beach to Lexington.
Wow.
And it was all of us. It wasn't just me. It was all of us. So that was that was a drive. And it was a drive back. And of course, the weather didn't want to cooperate.
Well, no.
But it was it was wet. It was rainy. And the day of the signing was raining. And I was like, oh, well, welcome to Lexington.
Yeah.
The signing was in the clubhouse of the stadium.
It looked gorgeous.
It was
I wanted to go, but and I was gonna go as a reader, but my husband had something going on that weekend, and so I had to stay home with the kid. So got to be the mommy. I know. Yeah. What? No, I've taken her to a couple that I've signed at. My very, very first signing was in Knoxville, Tennessee, a couple years ago. And she and my mom went with me. It was the first one I'd ever done. I didn't know what I was doing. I go back and I look at the pictures now, and I'm like, oh my God, look at all those people that were there that I now know, but didn't know any of them. And I'd read their books, but I didn't know who they were. And I was so shy. I was like, I was hiding in the corner, and my table was kind of in the corner by myself. And, but there were so many people there that now, it's like Shell Bliss. I've got a picture of Shell Bliss with Golden that I took of them, like from far away. I don't know why I took that picture. Who knows? Or maybe my daughter did. And now I'm like, I know them. But at the time, I'm like, starry-eyed, and Harper was there. Just all these people that now I can say, I'm friends with those people, but oh my goodness. So yeah, I took my daughter to that one. And really, she just wanted the rubber bracelets. So I always come home with a whole bunch of rubber bracelets for her, and she's 11. So that's what she's into now.
Yes, she had her whole arm. I have a whole drawer full. She can have it. Like literally, she could.
He has a whole drawer full. I think I've been to. I lost count. I think I've done 10 or 11 signings now since I first started doing all this. And so, yeah, she's got. Well, and Karen and Mama's always getting her stuff, and so yeah, it's she is well stocked in the swag arena for sure. You don't need it,
right?
No,
One wear a different color with every outfit. Has a color for every outfit.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but the farthest one I drove to was in Greenville, North Carolina. I went to Southern Girl the first year they did that, and I drove it by myself, and it's 14 and a half hours from my
Wow.
house. That was a
Wow.
long weekend.
Yes.
Very
Yes, because
long.
you drive in on Friday and you turn right around and you have like all the events on Saturday and then you come back on
Turn
Sunday.
around on Sunday. Yep.
Dead to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it
Yeah, I
very
swore I
difficult.
wasn't going to do that again. And now, actually, I don't drive by myself anymore. I usually, Amber Nation and I carpool together, and so we're traveling buddies now. So all the 3 sightings we're doing together, and we'll get in my car and off we'll go. So
Well, that's a good thing that you have a travel buddy because it does kind of get lonely-ish. I drove to RT by myself. Not a big deal. It was like 5 hours or whatever, but I stayed on the phone most of the time anyway,
right.
with friends or working, whatever, and just like,
Mm-hmm.
la, 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 because
Uh-huh.
it's 5 hours in the car and I didn't want to listen to the radio and I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just driving along, la, la, la. And there was usually, there was nobody in the back seat to have to argue with or to calm down or you
Right.
stop 5 million times for the bathroom or any of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yes, it's
Uh-huh.
always, I mean, it's easier when you go by yourself, but it's more fun when you have somebody that can travel with you so that you
Yes.
break
Yeah,
up just
it
the
is.
monotony of
It
the road.
goes faster when somebody's with you, and Amber and I get in the car and we're just like da, 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 and it's like, oh, we're here, really? Like, yeah, okay. So yeah, no, we have a good time in the car.
Yes, that's plus. And you're not like snoozeville behind the
Right.
wheel.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't help at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, let's see. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Now I'm gonna do it.
I'm sorry. Yes, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. This week is like
I get it.
really.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. Well, I mean, I slept this morning, but I didn't take a nap this afternoon. Sometimes I do, but I'm like, I really gotta read. I don't have
Uh-huh.
time. Read, and it's bad. I mean, I'll get myself in this pickle every now and then I have to force myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing that my son is not that. I have my husband gets my daughter ready for school and takes her, and I don't have to worry about getting up. So my son sleep. He's up. He's 5. He starts school this fall. So but he's a night owl, just like mommy. So he stays awake, not as long as me, but he stays awake and then he sleeps. Today he wasn't up until 11 o'clock. I'm like, I can't imagine what you're going to be like as a teenager because
Oh yeah.
11
Uh-huh.
a.m. 5-year-old, I can't imagine as a 15-year-old, you'll never get up.
Right. Right. I remember those days though when I was blogging because that's how I started. And you get yourself, and then it's like, oh my God, I've got 10 books I got to read by tomorrow, and yeah, I had to quit doing that. Just it was driving me. I mean, I literally was going crazy trying to keep up with all the demand, and then I started writing, so then that kind of went the other way. But yeah,
Yes.
blogging was fun though. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. Well, I'm on my 4th year. We've completed our 4th year, so I guess we're working on year number 5, and it has been a blast. I have read so much stuff in the last 5 years or 4 years,
Uh-huh.
whatever, that some stuff I loved tremendously, and that they've like become some of my favorite stories, and then there are some that I'm just like,
Yep.
I'm not even gonna tell anybody about the same. But that's the whole part of reading. Even if I was just a regular reader, it would still be the same. But I wouldn't have
Sure.
this voracious reading schedule.
Right, right. And I finally had to get people to help me, and I had a couple people that helped me, and then even that got to be too much, and I was like, okay, I can't write and blog and work and raise a family, and so something had to give. So I mean, I still have the blog page and stuff, but I haven't posted anything on it forever. So I didn't want to give it up, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Well, I mean, you could at least promote your stuff on there too. That's another outlet to
Yeah, I do that, and I've actually
your friends.
I started doing more swag, making more swag this year, because I can do that during the semester. I can't write during the semester. So I started making glasses and tiles and just all kinds of different things now to make up, just to give me something creative to do, because if I don't do something creative, I really feel like my head's going to explode. I have to do something. So,
right. Other than grade papers. And
yes, that's the worst part of my job. Yes. I hate it.
Do they like for you to write technical stuff, like to send in for technical, like LMS plus?
No, thankfully I work at a community college, and so we don't have to do any sort of research or publication or anything like that. So it's solely teaching, but I teach, 8 classes a semester, which is a load and a half. So
that's more than 21 hours.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do. So, so that takes up, most of my. That's why the summer is great, because I only teach 1 class. It's definitely a vacation, even though I'm still working, because go from 21 credit hours to 3. 3 is nothing. So.
Right. Exactly. This is easy peasy. I can do this in my sleep.
And it's a class I've been teaching for years, so I don't really even have to think about it or prep for it. Just go in and start talking. So it works well.
There you go. There's a syllabus to get to work.
Yes. Read the book.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They don't do that. They don't read the book. So
no.
They want to read my books, but they don't want to read the textbook. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't even know how, like the university that I went to, we visited not too long ago, and they don't even get textbooks anymore. They have to buy the books online, so they read like a private university, and it's a little bit more uppity than it was when I went to school. It wasn't as uppity as it is now.
Sure.
We had a different president when I was there, so it was more laid back. We have it's become a little like a country club now. And they all get, as freshmen, when they get iPads as freshmen, and so they get all their books to be, they buy them to be read on their iPads and do all their stuff on them. It's all fancy schmancy mess, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, that would have been nice as a student, so I didn't have to carry around those god awful heavy books. I could just carry around my iPad and not have to worry about it.
Right.
But, probably still.
I'd be dangerous, because I wouldn't be reading the book either. I'd be reading my stories.
That's exactly right. I wouldn't read this mess. Not. And it was hard enough to read it in college, so I mean, I can sympathize, because by then I was just kind of like, can we really just?
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done here, people. By my senior year of college, I was like, I'm over it.
Well, when I got out of graduate school, I swore, I said, I'm not reading another thing for you. Don't ask me, because I'd had enough. I read so much crap in grad school. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't pick up a book to read for fun till 50 Shades. So it was 15 years before I started reading for fun again. And I was an avid reader. I was, Sweet Valley High. I had them all, and, all that stuff. But, yeah. Thanks, Erica.
Right. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. She definitely changed a lot of people's lives. I mean, reader wise, one of the ladies that blogs with me, she didn't start reading, period. And she hated to read until 50 Shades of Grey. And then now she's also an author. So, I mean.
Yeah, me too. I never wanted to write a book. Are you kidding me? That's just craziness. And my best friend is an author, and she was like, well, I kind of want to do this. She writes real sweet romance stuff. And she's like, I kind of wanted to do this little sexier thing. And so we were kind of working on it together. She was writing it, and I was like, well, you need to tweak this and do this. And finally she's like, you know what? You just take over, because I can't. She just can't do that. She fades to black, and that's fine. And I don't. And so I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I did 4 times. So which is crazy. It's crazy. You just never know where life's going to take you. I mean, that's really true. You just never know. So, I mean, I'm a social worker from a tiny little town in southern Indiana, but who knew?
Yes. Sorry, I'm checking my phone to make sure my husband hadn't messaged me that they were coming home. They went to the park.
Yes, he stole
So when
your
they come in,
tea.
they'll be like barreling. Yes, my tea. They went to the park. So when they come
Yeah.
in, the kids will be like barreling up the stairs, and I'll be like, shh.
Yeah, unlike my husband where he tries to tiptoe through the kitchen with his big boots on. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. I mean, that was awful thoughtful of him. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, yes,
So,
yes.
thank you, hubby. You did a good job. Whereas
Yeah.
mine would just be like, wham, wham, wham. Not my husband particularly. He would be soft, but my daughter walks like an elephant, and
Oh,
she's
sure.
loud. I mean, the child
Hmm.
is just loud. I don't know where she came from because I'm not a loud person. My husband is very quiet, but she's loud. Her voice is loud. She's
Hmm.
loud, and
Sure.
you can hear her coming from a mile away. She's just loud, and
Uh-huh.
she would not be quiet. And then I don't allow them to get on the show, and she'll get as close as she possibly can, so that she's not right. I mean, like she would
Uh-huh.
literally stand beside my chair and stare at
Right.
me. I'm
Uh-huh.
on the
Yeah.
air. Hey.
Yeah, mine's in there watching YouTube right now, and it's actually her bedtime, and I know she's pretending like I'm already, just do your thing because I'm gonna stay
Right?
over later.
Not going to be paying attention to me because she's on her thing, so I can get away with watching this a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
stay on YouTube and stay on whatever Snapchat thing she's doing with her friends, and yeah. Hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know that one because my 8-year-old is the exact same way. She does the exact same thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Kids,
it's good that we didn't have this stuff when I was a kid.
right? We'd be up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah. Hmm.
I enjoyed my
Definitely.
books. Like you were talking about Sweet Valley High. I love those. I would devour those suckers.
Oh yeah,
Devour those things.
loved them.
I can't stand them now. Like that she has. I mean, I hate to really say that. That's awful, bad, Stephanie. She has an adult version. Did you know?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I did
They
not
have
know
an
that.
adult version
I
of
don't
Sweet
think
Valley
I want to
High.
read 40-year-old Sweet Valley High people.
I'm telling you, I tried. I really did because when I found them, I was like, oh look. Yeah.
No.
It
Well, they
reminds
can't
me
all
too
be
much of
winners, I
high
guess.
school. I mean, really, the twins are kind of cool to see how they ended up. Like
Mhm.
one is stable, one is not. You can probably guess which is which. And then,
Yeah.
based on how they were in their teenage years. I mean,
Mhm.
really. But then it's like she keyed in the author put in some cheating drama in there and on the husband's part, and then one
Mhm.
sister was like the single
Mhm.
twin was trying to get the husband to have an affair with her so that she could show her sister that he was, and I'm just like, no.
No. Mhm.
Okay, no.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I'm done with this series. We're not even
Yeah. I'll leave it in my adolescence.
right.
Just
Exactly.
keep
I
it
enjoyed
there.
those much better than the adult version of it because I'm just
Mhm. Yeah. No, I'll just leave them there.
yes. Good. It's a good thing. I'd stick to my paranormal and my erotica and everything else, but I won't go back
Right.
to
Right. Uh huh.
it's not so Sweet Valley anymore. It just makes too much drama. I have more angst. I guess as an adult, like as a kid, the drama is fine. You're in the middle of drama when you're in high school, it's drama. But I
Mhm.
like stuff with more angst. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't mind reading the sex scenes either, but
Well,
I mean, I gotta have that angst. It's more of
right.
that emotional attachment, the suck you in kind of thing.
Mhm.
Not like, don't
Right.
go there, people. I'm not talking about the sex. I'm talking about the story. But
Right. Right. Yes. The story.
story. That
Mhm.
just brings you into the storyline. Those are the stories that I love to read, and not that
I know. I know.
anymore. But anyhow, well, thank you very much, Jennifer, for joining me,
Well,
and we will
thanks.
look for your complete set in the
Yes. Yep.
summer. and we'll be sure to tell the world about it again.
They're tiptoeing again. Come here. Come here. Come here and say bye. We're getting ready to leave. Come here. Hi, puppy. No, get down. Come here.
Hi.
Okay, now you can go to bed.
Look, you're matching purple.
Yeah, that's her school colors. That's all we own is purple around here, it seems like. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it so much, Stephanie. I really do. And hopefully we'll get to meet in person someday.
Yes. I'm not going to any of those signings that you will be at, but for sure.
Well, who knows what's going to happen? Like I said, I never know what's going to happen. So I might be, who knows where I'll be. Might just decide to go someplace else. So
there you go. Yes. Well, and I do have shows later on this year. So if you want to come back, I think there's a couple of July ones on down. I don't know. There's the schedules.
Okay. I'll look at it.
Yeah, when you want to come back in the fall with your new, or even when the box set comes out, or the collection comes out, or even maybe the
yeah, if I can get that new one going, I'll let you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think hopefully that'll go pretty quickly this summer, and then that might be a fall release. So we'll just see what happens.
Yes, that would be good. Then we can talk about the behind their back. Look, well, not behind their back because they gave permission, but
right. Well, yeah.
Look what can happen when you come to my class. You can meet and fall in love, and here's your story.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay! Awesome. Well, thank you. I know that somebody has to get to bed, so
gotta go be mom now.
Right, exactly. It's that time of day.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me, and look forward to chatting with you again. You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Good night, everybody.